Hello YouTube, Jay here, and welcome back to the Glove Room. Today we're going to be talking about grip enhancers. Now there's all kinds of products out there that will literally help you to get a grip, and we're going to talk about some of the ones that I use regularly, as well as where to apply them on the bat, how to apply them, and in some cases, how to make them yourself. Before we get started, I'd just like to say that it may look like I have a heavy bias towards Pelican Bat Wax and their products, and it's because I do. They make a great product out of San Francisco, California. I think that Dave Phillips and his crew are doing a great job, and look forward to seeing them in all kinds of on-deck circles, even yours, as well as at the major league level. Now, that's not to say that there aren't great companies out there like Tyrostar, Rawlings, Tiger Stick, MaxBat makes a great pine tar. So there's a lot of stuff out there. What I'd like to focus on today is just how to apply it, whether or not you have a Manimoto grip stick, or whether or not you got the thick, sticky stuff that's coming out of Tyrus, which is just another great product. Same thing with Max Bats. They make a 16-ounce pine tar. It's just ooey, it's messy, it's gooey, it's America is what it is. It's awesome. So, I may have a bias towards Pelican, but they make a great product, and they make a wide variety of products. So before we get started, don't pepper me with comments that there's, oh, have you tried this, have you tried that? I've tried a lot of them. I do a lot of testing and evaluation just on my own time and experiment about what's going to be the best possible product every time I step into the box. So I don't really mess around with accessories too much, but I think I found something that works. So displayed prominently are some of the products that we're going to talk about today. It's mostly everything that comes in the Pelican Bat Wax Ace Clubhouse Kit. So the pine stick, the grip dip, their actual stick, and we're also going to talk about a little bit of liquid pine tar, and we're going to make a pine tar rag out of just an old rag and some tape. Also, the unsung hero for this grip enhancer video is Pelican's rosin bag. Any rosin bag will do, even if you have chalk rosin or rock rosin. Just putting it in a sock will do just fine. But because all of these products conveniently come in the Ace Clubhouse Kit, let's just talk about the Ace Clubhouse Kit. Anyway, so that's the stuff that we're going to talk about as I knock all this stuff off the box. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'll show you some of the bats. Don't mind the helmet. There's pine tar on it. Now, much like the game of baseball itself, your grip enhancer that you choose is all about preference. I'm not going to give you a hard time if you're using a wax-based formula or a pine tar-based formula. The same way that I'm not going to get on your case about being a Wilson guy or a Rawlings guy or being a double bubble or a big league chew guy. Hey, you like your stuff, and that's what makes you great. It's what makes you unique. So, as long as you're a Rawlings guy, we can still be friends. Right? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm just kidding. So, for my personal preference on grip enhancers, I love Pelican's grip dip. Now, it comes in this tin right here, and it looks like this. Now, it's cold in here because I think my wife keeps my house way too cold because it's supposed to be kind of like peanut buttery molasses, but it's definitely not coming out. I don't think it's going to. But when it warms up, there's something you got to worry about, and we'll talk about that a little bit when we're talking about waxes versus pine tars in different weather conditions. So, I'm going to get a little bit closer here. Now, the grip dip itself comes with a little wooden spreader, which is great, but it's kind of reminiscent of the first time you ever ate ice cream when you were a little kid. The problem is I lose these things all the time, so I fashioned a different one, a new one. Oh God. Out of a paint stirrer. So it's a little bit thicker and it's a little bit longer, and it's got this this edge. So what I can do is I can get into it a little bit easier. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stuff and just use it like a paintbrush, and I'm going to spread it along the taper of the bat. Now, the reason why I'm picking the taper, you don't want to put this stuff in the handle. It's naturally going to show up there when you bring it from your hands to the taper and then back to the handle. So just be wary of that. If you put too much on the handle, or if you get too exuberant and put it all over the handle, it's going to become a problem really quickly. You can't undo that. So it's also a pain in the butt to get this stuff off. So I don't recommend that you do bring it anywhere but around this taper area. Now, you can see the sheen that's on that. So it's definitely still wet. And the way we want to get rid of that moisture is the use of the rosin bag. So let's hit it with the rosin bag. And what that's going to do, it's going to dry it up. And in a little bit, it'll be ready to go. We can grip it like that. Yep. And because it's going to dry out a little bit, it's actually going to be even tackier. And Dave gives this one a tack level of 8 out of 10, and I definitely agree with him. So bring it down to the handle, and where once there was no tack, now there's plenty. What I really like about the grip dip is I can ritualize the process. during infield, outfield, or right after a cage session, and not right before I go up to bat. That's a little bit too late, but during pregame, I like to prepare at least 2 bats with Pelican Grip Dip, and then just have them ready to go. I definitely don't want to be caught not having the proper grip or having enough grip dip on my bat, so I make sure that there's a liberal amount. Can't go wrong if there's plenty up here. You're only going to go wrong if there's too much down here. I'm sure you guys all have rituals too, right? I'm not the only one, and I know I'm not. Anyway, this is a beautiful birch from my friend Juan Barrett out of Woodbridge, Virginia. He makes these beautiful bats in his own home, and I'm going to use this one as an example for the Pelican Pine Stick. The Pine Stick is a great middleman between wax and the grip dip that you just saw. It's not as messy, it's not going to stain as much, and it's also very convenient because it comes in this twist tube. So it's one of the few products out there that I've seen that does do this, and it's very convenient. So I'm slowly converting over to using this stuff when I'm not getting ready for games, like going to the cage. I'll probably use this stuff instead of the grip dip. So again, you want to keep this stuff in the taper, but you can see how easy this spreads, and you can also see you don't need to apply it too hard, and you can get a nice even coat. There you go. So once again, you see that little bit of shininess. I did replace the light bulbs in here, so maybe that helps. So let's get the rosin back again and hit it. There we go. Good to go, right? So again, once this dries up, it'll get even tackier, and you'll be happy that you applied it. It works really well with lizard skins. Grip dip doesn't work always so great with lizard skins. It can really build up and kind of reduce the effectiveness of that polymer that's working against you there, or working for you there. So just be careful of that. You don't want to overdo it in the grip department. It's always going to be just enough to be comfortable and confident, and then you can definitely overdo it. So just be careful. So the next one that I want to talk about is the actual stick. This is the Pelican The Stick. This is wax based, and this is one of the first things that Pelican came out with a couple of years ago, and they used to be in a bar form. And they said, you know, it would be more convenient if we could just tear it away and then we could just use it that way. And that's actually what they did, and it was incredibly successful. The difference here with the wax based stick is that you can use it in the handle. So if you have just tape on your bat, or if you have nothing on it, you can bring this stuff into the handle, and you really don't have to worry too much about overdoing it with the stick. So, you know, I know what I was saying before about using too much, but unless it's going to be really warm or really cold outside, I think that you're going to be okay. So you can actually go from the taper all the way down to the handle if you'd like. And this stuff works great. It has a tack level of 7 according to Dave. Let's put our hands on it there. There we go. It's pretty good. Hopefully this doesn't rip my batting gloves apart. There we go. Yeah, it feels pretty good. So I want to take a second to talk to you guys a little bit about temperature. So when it gets too hot, this liquid pine tar is going to melt, and then so is the wax. If it gets too cold, the pine tar is sometimes rendered ineffective. There are a couple of companies out there like Tyrus Tar and 2B Wax, which do cold weather stuff. Now I will say they do it specifically for cold weather. That's what their formula is based for. But I haven't had a problem in about 45-degree weather with Pelican Bat Wax's products. I'm just making you guys aware that if you operate in a cold climate like upstate New York, or if you're in Canada, or if you're in, you know, right now Virginia, because it's a little bit cold here. I don't want to be starting today. It's not where I want to be in terms of weather. If you're playing in the fall and it's cold, there are good formulas out there that you should probably try. I haven't tried any of them yet. I probably won't. I think that I'm pretty happy with the products that I have, but again, just making you aware of it. The last tar that we're going to talk about, or the last grip enhancer we're going to talk about, is the liquid stuff. This is liquid stuff. You can, you know, replace Easton for Rawlings or Brett Brothers, or there's all kinds of companies out there that are doing liquid tar. But they all have one thing in common. You're going to put it in a rag, you're going to put it in the middle, and then you're going to spread it around the taper of your bat. So let's do that. This is just a Brett Brothers pine tar rag, and you put it in here, just like this. Now I'm going to probably spill that on the floor. And then we just put it in the middle there, roll our bat. You don't want to press too hard because that kind of negates the use of it. There we go. It's going to have our nice sheen on there, nice and glossy. Now, before I add the rosin to it, I want to tell you guys about this guy. It's the same exact thing. The difference is I used a rag here that's about like about a foot by a foot, and then I put all kinds of tape on it, and I left just enough tape to have a square in the middle, to have it exposed. Now, what you want to do, you can just take regular athletic tape in order to do this, but you want to have plenty of tape in the middle. There's not too much in terms of seepage, but you don't want this thing to bleed through because you put too much of the liquid on there. It's pretty easy for me to find a rag. I have a 2-year-old, so there's always, rags lying around. Be sure to get your wife's permission so you can use one of those rags for said 2-year-old, because if it's still being used for her, you're going to get in trouble. So just be aware. Not all rags are actually rags. Some of them are prized possessions for your daughter. So anyway, I'm going to add the liquid this way, just like that. I've got a good base coat in there already. And I'm going to roll it in. And that's that. There you go. We'll get up, hit it with a little bit of the pine tar. With the rosin. Give it a little bit, and then, this stuff, you can come back the next day, and this stuff will be really, really tacky. So, anyway, thanks for bearing with me. I know it's kind of tough to do that. I'm kneeling, I'm standing up, I'm showing you guys all kinds of stuff. So, I know there's all kinds of videos out there related to pine tar. Again, just know that I have my personal preferences, but I encourage you guys to give everything a try. It's always good to nail down those preferences. I do a lot of experimenting, a lot of testing and evaluation for all kinds of different products. This is the one that works for me. It may not. I love Dave Phillips, and the one thing that I want more than anything is for him to make me a dozen candles that smell like this grip dip, and he'll send them to me, name them the box the Jet stole home. It'll be, kind of a thing. And mostly I need this smell to get me through the winter months. So otherwise you look like a weirdo just smelling the tin during the winter. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. More stuff to come from the glove room, and as always, stay grassy.